I've always wanted to do this, but I always forget. So before we get started, I want to show you guys the size of the steering wheels. This is silly, but I'm going somewhere with this. 15 inches is the Chevy. All right, let's go check out the Fords. Ford is 15 3/4. So I've always said that Ford had larger steering wheels, and I just confirmed it. This is a big steering wheel compared to the Chevy. I always thought that the High Country really competed with the King Ranch, and in this video I'm going to compare these trucks. Now let me just say this, I know that this is the highest trim level from Chevy for the HDs, and you still have a Platinum and the limited trim level, which the limited would probably be more of a competitor, but because of the price point and because of the names, like this is a cowboy truck, High Country, right? This is a cowboy truck, King Ranch. So I feel as though these trucks do compete. And if you wanted to look at a Platinum or even a limited from the Ford Super Duty, you have to go to a GMC to really have a good comparison with those higher trims. I borrowed these trucks from Jerry Seiner Chevrolet in Salt Lake City and Larry H. Miller Super Ford here in Salt Lake City. If you would like to purchase a truck, be sure to reach out to them, let them know you saw the video. Let's go ahead and go back up front so we can talk about the front ends of these pickups. So where are my chrome lovers at? If you want chrome, you can get it on the High Country or the King Ranch. Let's go ahead and start with the Chevy first. The Chevy has this bright chrome treatment right here, and then you have like this like polished aluminum look right here. I do like the overall setup. Down below you have more of that polished look on that part of the bumper. Chrome recovery hooks, and this truck's gonna have the front parking sensors. It has the forward facing camera, full LED headlights and fog lights, and guess what? If you get a High Country, painted bumpers come standard. So if you don't want painted bumpers, well, that's all you can get. Now Ford did something a little different with their King Ranch. They do still have that full chrome front grille. However, you guys can see this truck is black, but the part below on the bumper is a different color. It's like a dark bronze color, which is darkened bronze for 2024. Now, full LED headlights, fog lights, turn signals, accent lights, just like the Chevy. This one also has the forward-facing camera, parking sensors, recovery hooks are actually finished in black, which I like a little bit better. And this truck does have just a little bit more contemporary styling compared to the Chevy. What do you guys think? I think this is more contemporary. This is more like, I wouldn't say modern, but like, I guess like in your face, right? With the headlight design, things like that. But the only, I would say, this diffuser on the front of this truck is huge compared to Chevy. So the Chevy does sit a little bit higher. I don't have to pull out my tape measure. You can clearly tell that this Chevy sits just a little bit higher. And that's because of this huge diffuser on the front end. Now that's going to help with fuel economy, so that's why they make it that way. Now off to the side, let's go ahead and check out the wheels. Chevy does give you a very contemporary style for the wheels on High Country. Now they are wrapped in a Goodyear Wrangler Trail Runner tire. These tires are pretty darn good. LT 275/65/20. Now these tires are going to have 3,750 pounds of capacity at 80 psi. Now the Ford 275/65. So these trucks are going to have the exact same tire size and 3,750 pounds of capacity, 80 psi. So at the end of the day, I think Ford and GM give you the best tires, and thank God I don't have a Ram here because that truck would have Firestones, and good Lord. So here are the mirrors. They're both tow mirrors. They can go in the tow mode. They're power folding. Now they do give you a painted trim piece versus the chrome on the Chevy. They also have lights forward on the mirrors too. And they have reverse lights for the Chevy, not the Ford. Now I do like that you can fine tune these mirrors for tow mode, so you can push them out little by little, because you don't always need them all the way out extended, right? With GM, you have to put them all the way out extended. Now, smart key system on the front doors for both trucks. You do get painted door handles versus the chrome ones. And they both have the chrome trim piece on the bottom part of the windows. You have the keypad. If you don't have your key with you, you can put the code in and it'll open. The doors Also, power deployable running boards. They do give you a light on the bottom of the Chevys, which I do like better. Now, this is where Ford copied GM. They give you the side steps on the bed. GM's been doing that since 2020. I do like that Ford did this. Ford does have larger tank capacities, 34-gallon fuel tank. Actually, no. GM has the larger tank here because this is a standard bed matchup. So yeah, if it was long bed, then GM would lose. But yeah, GM has a 36-gallon fuel tank. This Ford has a 34-gallon, but it has a 7.4-gallon DEF versus a 7-gallon. So it's a little bit bigger than a GM. The suspension out back, I think that the GM truck is going to win because you have 5 leaks in the main pack and 2 overloads. And even though this is an F350, the suspension is the same with the F350 single rear wheels. And hopefully you guys can see that too, right there. So this is where everything goes downhill for the Chevy. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I haven't shown you the price on purpose because I want to show you guys at the end. So with the Ford, you do have a power tailgate. So power going down, power going up. Also, they do give you the step built into the tailgate, which I don't think I would ever use, but you know, some people might use that. Also, 2,000 watts of power in the bed. Let me say that one more time. 2.0 kilowatts max in the bed. I didn't even show this to you yet, but you also have sonar built in on the top of the tailgate with a backup camera. So if you leave the tailgate down and you're backing up, you do not damage your tailgate on the Ford. I love this little trim piece. It's not a love, I guess. It's more like it's a cool accent. It shows that you spent all the money on your truck. And it does look nice, I guess. But on the Chevy, parking sensors just like the Ford, steps, class 5 receiving hitch on both sides. They do give you 2 camera inputs for your trailer, which you do not have on the Ford. However, you do not have the sonar or the backup camera for the top of the tailgate. Now I know some guys, 'cause I have a lot of, you know, GM fanboys on my channel. Most guys wouldn't care to have that. I would think I would like to have that because, you know, it's nice to be able to see where you're going if you're backing up with the tailgate down. I like that. I think it's pretty cool. But this truck has the bed lights just like the Ford. However, you only have 400 watts of power in the bed. It's gonna get a little bit worse for the Chevy. I gotta pop the hoods next. It's safe to say that the Ford's gonna win this because of the amount of options that they give you. Starting off with the gas engine. The 7.3 has a 373 standard, or you can get a 430. With the gas engine with Chevy, you only get the 373 rear. Also, the first, second, and third gear in the 10R140 is a lot deeper compared to the Chevys. And the horsepower and torque, you have 430 horsepower, 485 pound-feet of torque with the Super Duty. The gas from the Chevy is 401, 464 pound-feet of torque. And yeah, it feels sluggish with the 10-speed. I'll be honest, I owned the truck and I was not impressed, if I'm being completely honest with you. I mean, it's a nice setup if you're towing under 10,000 pounds, but if you're looking to tow 12, 13, 14, 15,000 pounds, I think you would be disappointed. Now, the diesel, oh boy. The standard output Power Stroke has 475 horsepower, 1,050 pound-feet of torque compared to the Duramax, which is 470 horsepower and 975 pound-feet of torque. But there's a high output, which this truck has. 500 horsepower, 1,200 pound-feet of torque, and great cooling is in this engine. Also, even though that high output Power Stroke has way more power than this Duramax, this truck, if you get it in a 1-ton, does not have any torque management like the Rams and the Fords do. And I've shown you guys on a few videos where I've done 0 to 60s, and this truck wins. And the reason why it wins is because there's no torque management. And I think that the Fords, they do have a little bit of torque management, but when you hook up a trailer, there's no denying this truck's gonna probably pull away from this Duramax. Oh yeah, if you're looking at a diesel with the GM trucks, you do get a 342 standard. On the Ford side, this truck's gonna have a 331 standard without a locker. And The Chevy's gonna have an automatic locker, but you can get a 331 with the locker and a 355 axle ratio. So the Ford King Ranch has one of the best interiors. And to wrap this video up before I show you guys the pricing, check out these seats. You have two-tone seats. These seats are massage on the bottom and the top here. You also have a power steering column and power pedals down below. It gets worse. This truck also has the panoramic sunroof. The accents that they give you around this interior is definitely on another level. Like, I hate to say it, but yeah, this truck is better. You're gonna have a 12-inch screen here, 12-inch screen here, but this is something that the GM truck does not have. It does not have this. This is my favorite thing about the Ford trucks. This. If you're towing, this is so important. I don't know why GM does not give this to you. And this is very important. Also, Ford, continuing on copying the GM pickups, they did add heads-up display right there. And I just think that this is a better truck. Like, this truck has dual climate control, heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel. All those things are on the Chevy, which I'll show you in a second. But you have a 2-stage exhaust. So you have just full exhaust brake and you have automatic exhaust brake. You only have one level for the Chevy. Now the wireless charger is in here. You have some USBs right there. They do give you 4 cup holders because this slides. And the fit and finish on this interior is so much nicer. Also, these auxiliary switches come standard. You have a place here for your sunglasses, home links right there. I think I've shown you guys enough. Let's go ahead and check out that Chevy. Now, this Chevy does have a really nice interior. Don't get it twisted. It's definitely not as nice as the Fords, but the two-tone leather in this truck is absolutely beautiful. Now that Ford did have real wood trim pieces, so does the Chevy. And quite honestly, when you step inside of a Chevy truck, I feel like the layout is so much cleaner. It's so much more like precise compared to the Fords. Ford always seemed busy to me. I feel like anytime I get inside of a Ram or a Chevy truck, I feel like I know exactly where to go. And that's probably because I've owned the trucks, but I've driven a lot of Ford trucks. I've done a lot of videos this past year on Ford trucks, like a lot. And I've actually rented a couple Ford trucks last year too, just to like get more seat time with them. One of which I showed you videos on. But push button start. And this is actually a larger display. This is a 13.4 inch display versus that 12. So you do have that going for you here. But this screen, even though it is fully customizable, you don't have any turbo gauges in here. You don't have like an exhaust brake monitor inside of here. Like, you don't see any of the temperatures that you would like to see. The exhaust brake, there's only one level for that. Now they do have 2 drive modes in here. You have off-road and normal. That Ford had what, 5? They had 4 or 5 drive modes. Now home links up here. There is no spot to put any sunglasses up here, and right here you do have a spot, you know, for some storage, so you could put your sunglasses. I do like the overall layout of this interior. This truck does have the auxiliary switches right here. However, they're not set up. You have to do that when you get your truck. You the customer has to do that. The ones in the Ford are already set up. But lower they put the wireless charger, your USBs. You have a 120 volt plug right there. Ford does give you a lot more plugs, I will say, in the interior compared to the GM pickups. But heated and ventilated seats, dual climate control, and this screen does have split setup too. And both trucks do have the power lift gate. I'm not sure if I mentioned that for the Chevy, but the Chevy just power up and down. They were actually first to market to do that too. Huge trim piece for your cover here, and this, I believe this is real wood too. I believe so. But yeah, this interior is really nice, but I think that it's missing a lot of good things like the massage seats. You have to go to a GMC to get some of those features, and even still, that truck becomes even more expensive than the Ford truck does. Now, as far as the roof goes, you guys can see you just have a standard sunroof compared to the twin panel in that Ford. I do like that they give you the black, however. It looks really nice. It feels a little bit bigger back here compared to the Ford. And outboard heated seats, you have 2 USBs, air vents, cup holders. I do like the fact that they give you these nice speaker grills, front and rear. Just like the Ford, they had pretty similar ones, and they give you this storage in the seat backs, which you cannot get with the Ford. A little bit of storage below the seat here. Let's check out the King Ranch. Yeah, this sunroof is a winner, guys. They do give you a mocha color roof too to match the interior. I would have expected them to go with black, but they didn't. But outboard heated seats, 2 Type-C USBs, but look at that. You still have a 120 volt and 12 volt power plug out back. You don't have that on the Chevy. They both had the seat back pockets, but I think that the Ford definitely cleans up on the interior. There's no denying this King Ranch. I think that this is just a better interior at the price point. So let's go ahead and check out the pricing, and then I'll pretty much end the video. Now, the base price for both trucks is with the gas engine. So King Ranch F350, $78,025, and the Chevy with the gas engine is $75,195. That's going to be a difference of $2,830. Now, going back to the Ford here, you guys can see I pretty much spec'd out both pickups, same color, so the black does not have an extra cost. Standard output power stroke. This has a locker for the 331. FX4, 5th wheel prep package, tough beds right there. Wheel well liners front and rear. Twin panel sunroof, clearance lights, and total price is $94,000. For the Chevy, the total price is $90,110. I pretty much optioned it the exact same. I added the Duramax, I added the High Country Premium Package C71, clearance lights, the sunroof's right there. I have the power deployable running board for $1,500. Those were standard actually on the Ford, by the way. Total price is $90,110. That's a difference of $3,890. Now the takeaways are this. The High Country has the advantage of 3 interior colors. You only have 1 with the King Ranch. Also, if you want a blackout package, you can get that with the Chevy right here. Now, the takeaways for the Ford is you get the contour seats, standard. You have the sonar and the backup camera on top of the tailgate and the massage seats. I think that the Ford, for a few $1,000s more, is probably worth it just because of the features you get, but you don't have multiple interior colors, and you have to get two-tone or you have to get chrome bumpers to delete the two-tone if you don't like that. I hope you guys liked the video. Special shout out again to Larry H. Miller, Super Ford, and Jerry Seiner, Chevrolet here in Salt Lake City. If you would like to buy a truck, be sure to reach out to them. Let them know you saw the video. See you guys soon.